Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday. And we have a special guest too. What's up, Dolly?
Hey.
Yay.
And Michelle.
Yeah,
and we
this
got
is
our
going to be
orange
fun.
on.
I got my orange on. It's all about the orange this last week. Lots of downloads about orange. Yeah.
Mine's all about red.
Yeah, I was red the week before. It was all about the red the week
I was
before,
red before.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah,
changed
working up the
shiny.
chakras. Yep.
Yeah, I'm shiny.
You're celebrating.
The sequence.
Oh, I
Yeah,
am.
it's definitely glittery energy today.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's been a lot of high energy. And I've got to mention that I'm coming out of this horrible oh man, I don't know if it was a purging or what. So basically, it was like flu-like soreness and achiness, and just needing to sleep and going from hot and cold. But I didn't have any kind of. Actually, think about it. I had a stomach growling thing, and I thought it was going to go to my stomach, but it never did. It was kind of oh gosh, not my stomach,
Things moving around.
Right.
Yeah.
But actually, it was 2 days of just really just being knocked out and my joints aching and getting the goosebumps when you get the chills, and then each
the temperature
hurts
changes. I really noticed. Yeah, the up and down.
It was horrible.
But that's really us getting pushed. Like I was saying, these energy waves are just coming in so fast, one after the other now. So it's it comes in that it's pushing us down, and we purge, but we do a lot of work for other people when we're in that. We're really doing a lot of work in dream time. I'm being shown how much we're going in.
I never sleep. I just think I don't. I feel like I went to sleep, but I haven't slept.
Yeah. Well, because you're going into timelines, and we're helping other people that to untie those knots, to clear through old thought matrices that don't work anymore, and to help break those down for them. We're doing a lot of that in dream time, but it's really heavy work. So the energy comes in, it pushes us down, but then it goes down, hits the center of the earth, and we do all this work, and then whoosh, it comes back up and shoots back up like a fountain through us. And then that's when we experience this trampoline lift. And then you'll wake up and you're like practically floating. Your balance might be a little off, even your equilibrium, and maybe bonking into some things, because
you remember
as opposed to feeling so heavy, you're just woo.
You remember us talking about it last week, that uplifting feeling, and then the way your mind sort of interprets it in dreams of hovering or dreams of flying. And
which I got in the other day.
Yeah,
again.
And then Dolly was just saying she had the same thing happen, where she had a dream about flying. And I think that's sort of our mind's way of interpreting the energies.
Even as soon as I close my eyes as to go to sleep, it's not even I'm asleep. I can just see
those hypnagogic images. Yeah, as you're falling.
They're hovering over lands, which look like Mars. And then someone said today about the Mars and what was it, conjunction? And I thought, maybe that was.
Oh, the wings. Oh, I was just getting that now. Mercury. And when did you get the wings?
I said it on the chat the other day. It was a few days ago, I think.
Just the tail end of finishing off the Mercury retrograde. The wings on the feet.
What I got in was, I was in the garden just doing a little bit of meditating. It was only a little one, and it looked like circles going out, like ripples. They were pulsating, and then it was like these wings, like big angel wings sort of thing, on the side. And as if, to me, it felt like they were doing this very gently, but the feeling I got of it was like a loving sort of, because we're purging, but be kind to yourself. We're sending a lot of healing, but very gentle, because of what's going on has to be drip, drip, gentle. So it was a bit like this sort of motion, but it was pulsating. I just saw these big wings wrapping themselves around Earth, and just to everybody. That's what I got. And that's what I shared the other day.
Well, you know what? I was just reading on Facebook, Candace was Goldman. She likes to post dream reports, and she had a really good one where she had an OBE just the other night, and explained the vision that she saw, and she was pulled way far out to view the planet as a whole, and what she saw around it was this bubble, like rainbow, translucent, pulsing, just like you explained, doing this. And she said what she was told is it's the love. It's the love that's pulsing. And so that's that energy. It really is. It's coming up off the shoulders, the wing area. And we really are these like transistors for that energy. It comes in, and then, hits the earth, and it's ascending, and then up throughout. Yeah. And then it pours back out through us.
Drawing.
Oh yeah.
This every day he's been drawing pictures of me, and every day he's been like, I mean, kids say this, but it's every day for the past 2 weeks. I love you, mummy. I love you, mummy. And then he's always drawing rainbows. He's just constantly drawing rainbows. He's 5. He says, love you at the bottom. He said the other day, the world is all love. And then the other one he did the other day that blew me away was this one. It's a rainbow, but he's not done it as in a rainbow, tried to do the arches. He did it like this, and I was like, whoa, I mean, that's like doorways.
Oh, wow.
Within, Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And he drew that, and he just said it's a rainbow, but I was like, it's like doorways. I mean, that's like to me in your mind and things that you're trying to get rid of, all sorts of things you can look at that, but he did that the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Which is, what is a doorway but a portal?
Exactly. And he mentioned a portal the other day, and he said, mummy, he said, what was it? He said something on the lines of, I was talking about the spirit realm, because he said something, I was talking about the orbs to him, because I speak to him like that, and I said, oh, it's like, spirit come over. He went, oh, like his nana's friend passed away, and he said, oh, like she's called Barbara, and I went, yeah, she's over there. He said, oh, I said something. He said, oh, is it come through the portal where the light is? And I went, yeah, I thought. But you know what kids are like? I was like, yeah,
that portal.
Yeah, that portal, So it's like,
yeah, I think I think that's his representation of the rainbow portal.
I was thinking what would the rainbow bridge look like if you were going down it, right?
Yeah. It's a rainbow portal.
Do you remember ages ago when I brought up the dream? I've just mentioned it for people who might not have heard this on your channel, but I don't know if it was 2 years ago, I can't remember, but I had that thing where I said I was in bed and my mum stayed over and she was on the floor and she's got really bad sciatica in her back. So she slept on this, I don't mean she slept on the floor, but she slept on this thing on the floor. And she normally only sleeps for like 2 hours. So anyway, I went to bed that night because I was all up in there, when you go through your path and you're thinking, what's going on? Are we going off the world? What's new earth? When I was at that stage, I've moved away from that now. And I was like, are we going somewhere? So I went to sleep and I was like really breathing deep. And I was quite like, I just felt so relaxed. I was smiling and I closed my eyes and I just asked. And I went down something that was like a wormhole thing with all lights, but neon lights. Like a porthole thing or whatever, wormhole portal, whatever. Went through that and then said, well, are we going somewhere? What's this new earth all about? And the voice just said, I looked to my left, I saw the earth it was like an orb, bright white light, which is funny because that's what I see now. And it just said, no, you're staying there. You're going to heal, but you're going to heal other people. And I was like, right, okay then. And it makes more sense now because I'm like, oh. Yeah. And then when I woke up the next morning, my mum said, oh my God, that was the best night's sleep I've ever had. I felt very relaxed because that's how I felt. She went, and this energy, and I went, and she don't believe, she's not even awake to that sort of stuff. And I just went, yeah, Mum, and I told her, that was me, my energy on you, because I was pulsating out of me at the time. So when she said that, I was just like, well, there you go. Yeah. And that's why I hold on to a lot of things that are happening now is we are here to heal, because I do hold on to that experience that I had with that. And that's what I just hold very strongly with.
Well, I had I told about it just the other week there. So it's just happened within the last couple of weeks, but I had a really strong, what I call embodiment dream, because it's actually like an energetic dream. I feel it very physically, and it's highly lucid. And I was doing just that. So I knew that I was embodied. I looked down at myself, and I was glowing, this like golden shimmery glow. And there were these people, and just hurt, sad, wounded people. And it was like, I knew their story, and I was able to, it was a whole energetic exchange. It was very powerful. And that's where I felt like that energy coming off my shoulders. And it was compassion. It was very specifically this compassion that was allowing people to release all their pain, to let go of all their stories, all their shame, everything. And it washed through them and cleansed them from all of that. And I experienced it all through them. I understood with empathy and compassion their story. It was able to release them from it, and experienced as well their relief. Like it was this whole, and it didn't take anything from me. A lot of times now we have this limited focus where we give somebody our time and attention, and it takes from us. This was, the more I gave, the stronger the more powerful I was. So it was, it was giving from a place where it doesn't weaken you. You do not have less because you give. This is, the complete opposite of like, where the more you give, it's the more actually powerful you are. And it was a very, I would imagine how Christ would feel, right? With healing people of their, everything, their shame, their hurt, their stories, their pain, and it all, them letting it all go.
The more we share, the more we release, the more.
Yeah, but it's an energetic.
That's why we need to talk.
Yeah, it's an energetic thing. It's an actual energy that pours in. It wasn't words that I was saying or anything, but an actual energetic exchange. And I do think that's part of the role, that, when the lights come on, per se, like when that globe goes white, we literally get turned on like light bulbs, and then we will have work to do, healing those of their stories and of their egos, and releasing them from what is holding them back, the pain that they're holding onto.
It's only a story. You can turn the page over.
Yeah.
And I always say, I don't know in America if Americans, I'm assuming you did, have the books. When I was a child, you used to have a book, and it used to be like a two-story book, where if you took, you'd read the first page and go to page 1 or 2, which way do you want to go?
Choose your own ending.
You read it and then think, I didn't like that ending, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to read the other side of it. That's what you can do anytime. You can turn around and think, do you know what? I've took the wrong door. That wasn't right for me. Now I've realised something. Oh, I've reflected. Right, I'm taking that route. You can change any time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your story.
I think the problem that, like Michelle talks about a lot, is that like we so many times will associate with a story or with a point of view so deeply that it's hard for us to separate. It becomes part of us, or at least, within our mind or construct. It's like it's like letting part of yourself go to let something go, and it's
that's really
for people,
Well, that's what this is all about, though, right?
Yeah.
It's the
definitely.
identity, and why identity politics, and such a focus on claiming your identity and clinging to your identity and the story of identity, and making sure everybody else knows the story of your identity and acknowledges it. But what's lost, and this is the real, that's not God's truth. Your identity is not God's will, right? That's a limited perspective. That's a story within this matrix that's being developed, right? And you're going to keep running that program, and that's what you got to realize. And it's not. That's where people get lost, and that's the people that we are going to have to heal. The ones who have attached their whole essence of who they think they are to an identity. They haven't attached. They haven't found the core energy that is like God's truth within them, God's will, not your will. That's really the question now. Are you working from the motivation of your will, or are you emptying yourself of your will, and are you asking, what is God's will? How can I at this point be a vessel for that, as opposed to my own agenda? And being honest enough with yourself to recognize when you're doing it, when you're motivated from your own personal agenda, because your identity wants soothing in some way, or control in some way, or an acknowledgement in some way. How does that serve God? Right? This is the crux of the real question. In the moment when the light hits and blinds everybody, it will be the individual's moment of choice to recognize whether or not they are going to be willing to surrender and let go of their identity and be okay with it, and surrender to the power, the will, and the love of God that is overtaking them in that moment. Will they release that control of their ego and surrender? And it ultimately is the question that's at the core of.
That's why I hate labels now.
Right
I hate labels. I really do hate labels at the minute. It's like, people will say, Dolly's in this community. No, it's that. It's like I just don't want to be any. I don't want to be labeled as a community. Then I am what I am. I just am what I am. It's just,
right.
When you get into that language of things, it's so hard to get that. Like, people have seen me from when I first came on YouTube, knowing why now, didn't before. But I've gone through many different image change, because my hair was short, then it grew, now I've got dreads, and people will say certain things about that image change. It's like, I don't have to be put in a box of I am Dolly and I had short hair, therefore I've got to stay that Dolly that I was in a past life, even that past life of a few years back, because they're past lives as well.
Yeah.
So when people talk about past lives, they're past lives as well. That's not me now. It's all I've shown on YouTube is my growth. Call it spiritual. When people say you're spiritual, everybody's spiritual. They've just tried to spirit and God.
Amen.
Whether you recognize it or not, right?
Community that you get into, you're just remembering you always are. You're not actually detached. They just try and make you think you're detached. You're not. You're just not listening. You're not connecting, you're not tuning in because you're too busy tuning into mainstream media, so on and so forth. And this whole thing with letting stuff go, I said on my channel yesterday, and I say this a lot, you are not defined by what people say you are, or anything that, even your parents and that, we've all been programmed. That's what people have got to get over. We've all been programmed to a very deep level. It is hard to let go, but this is where we're going with healing. You were always connected. How about people start remembering you're actually human as well? And remembering how to be human again? Because the way they've programmed us, to me, how I see it, is detach us from source, which you never detach from anyway, really. Mm-hmm. And then all the stuff they put out in the media about desensitizing people, sexualizing children, desensitizing people to helping people. Like on Facebook, a few years back, people would remember this. They'd have you'd share a video of children fighting and no one helps a child, and they're all just stood around, school children, and they're all laughing and no one's helping because they're filming. To put that out to sensitize, like, oh, we're not bothered, we've all got to stand around with a phone, nobody helps. So there's no compassion, that's what they've been doing. We've got to remember to be human too. And when people say it's human nature, it's just the nature, no, it's not. We weren't born that way when we came here. We were taught to hate. We were taught to do those things. It's not human nature. I really can't stand it when people say that, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not human nature. Humans came from source and they came from love. We are taught as we grow up, as we're told not to be, come out of your child self sort of thing, grow up, do this, everything's got to be this, this, and this. You're taught that.
And as you get hurt,
innately know it's wrong, but you're mainly taught. Mm-hmm. You're taught to hate and you're taught to fear.
And stay quiet and
to divide and separate. And that's really the thing that should always be secondary to love. There should be like this baseline. And when I say love, I don't mean you have to go hugging everybody, but there's a certain respect of that life and that individual sovereignty. I mean, if you don't want to call it love because it's too mushy sounding, you can think of it as like a mutual respect for another life as being equal and just as alive as you. I mean, if you want to kind of tear it down to its basic thing, but you know, that's lost many times. Whenever, you know, when the president got sick, the things that I heard them say, you know, was like letting go of that sort of, you know, that compassion. I mean, everyone deserves to be healthy and whole and things like that. You know what I mean? And even our prison systems, we don't send people to prison and then torture them there or anything. You know, we do give them a certain level of, even within war, they got the Geneva Convention. That was always weird growing up to me. Was that to you guys? It's like, wait a minute, they got rules for war? It's like, why can't they just have a rule not to have a war to begin with then? You know, right? Hello?
Yeah. Well, the simplicity a child can put 2 and 2 together better than an adult can in a lot of cases like this, you know? And I think, you know, when you talk about human nature, Dolly, and about, you know, children, and I think if you watch young children and how they respond to each other, if they see one other is needing or hurting or any of those things, and their nature is to... Yes, exactly. And you're right.
I saw the other day was a little black boy and a little white boy.
Yes, I know that one.
Did you see? Yeah. Did you see?
Yeah. And they run.
And they were about, I don't know, were they only young? How old?
Oh yeah, just toddlers.
Toddlers, like maybe my Finn's age. And they both had their hair cut really, really short and said, "We're going to trick our teacher because if we have our hair the same, our teacher won't be able to tell us apart." It was so adorable because they don't see it, you know?
No, they don't. No,
we bleed the same blood at the end of the day. So that was the most beautiful, cutest little picture. And there's one that went out ages ago, same sort of thing, but it was 2 little toddlers running down the street in New York, and they just ran up to each other and they were like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "That's how we need to be."
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Well, just keep pushing it. That's, you know, it really is coming out to the world as chaotic and difficult and crazy as this has all been.
Have you noticed? I've noticed there's a lot of friends that I knew a few years ago, just through relationships, different things of women, especially, that have just come back into my life now. And I think there's one in chat as well. But some people, they've come back and they've gone, "Oh my God, some things you were talking about on your channel, I can see it, but also I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm on a spiritual journey." And I'm like, yes. And they're all like, "I feel this energy." And people have said, you know, sometimes I've been feeling crying for no reason. And I said, it's all the releasing. And one of my friends told me the other day that they went to a healer near where I live, and the healer told her a few things. And then after that, she was a bit ill, that thing, but she started being sick. She was a bit sick anyway, but I said it's purging.
Purging.
They think they're ill with a certain thing that's going out at the minute. I'm like, think you're purging. Think you're also think you're purging.
Yep, I know what you mean. A lot of those conversations. Yeah, it is increasing. And that's a wonderful thing. And it's great, you know, in that position we just have to take of just being like, yeah, it's okay. I know what you're going through. I've been there before myself, and you know, it's all okay. It's all good. It's all for a good purpose, and you're okay, and you're doing great, and just giving people that reassurance, and not maybe, you know, pushing everything on them all at once, because there's so much information, but really let them sort of take the nuggets at their own pace and just
heads, don't you, when you wake up to certain truths, and you go through a lot of certain truths, and you drop a lot of stuff. Like, people will say, "Oh, you said this a few months ago," or maybe you said that last year. Well, you're not saying it now, so you're contradicting yourself. It's like, no, I resonated at the time.
This is a process.
Not resonate with it now. It got me through that process then, and then I thought, actually, I don't know about that anymore. I'm going to put it over there. That's how you grow. But it is a really beautiful process, because who'd want to stay stuck there again? You're just moving forward. So when people say that, it's like, no, I'm just growing and expanding. It's about expanding. That's what we're doing. We're trying to expand our consciousness as well. Everything's expanding. And I even laugh at myself. I could have said a few things ages ago and gone, I can't believe I was even saying that then. But I needed it at the time.
Yeah.
I needed it at that time. Don't need it now. That was that time in the past. It was like, I don't need it now, but I needed it at the time. Yeah. So you just go along them little, you know, it's a bit like when you're younger, you have certain friends and you let them go because, you know, whatever happens, and then you don't need them in your life anymore. And that is life anyway, you know, with different experiences. You know, whether you were right or wrong, or you said something that maybe didn't make sense at the time. I look back now, especially Shane with that when we had this session, you know,
Right.
and I'm just like, what?
And things fall into place later.
I need to listen to it again. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Dylan
still
from
put
across the
I still
pond.
have pieces
And
falling
John,
in.
all you guys across the pond joining us. Sorry about that.
Oh, cool. No, that's
Well,
okay.
I don't know if you heard the other day, but you know that I've always had a thing about Vikings.
Did you say Vikings?
Yes.
Okay,
Vikings.
cool. That's
So
cool.
if I
I
was
get
talking
that.
about Vikings, I love the Vikings, and was Ragnar and
Ragnar.
Uhtred out of the Vikings
Uhtred,
thing.
yeah.
Uhtred, and I just love saying Uhtred because
Because you
I
can
just
say
love
it.
that Uhtred, Uhtred, Uhtred. Yeah. So I've always had this. This is a thing I find in life, and this is just an example of when you innately are in. You know, like you've got this thing that you like, and it's like I've always had a thing about Vikings, Lord of the Rings, all that sort of stuff. I've been having a thing about the number 7, but I think that's something coming in anyway. And I've always had to think about oak trees since being a child. So I was saying to people on YouTube the other day, I said, it's funny, innit? Because I only found out last year from my dad, my surname is Irish. And when we looked into the surname, you know, you can go and Google it and everything. It comes from, it means sons of red eyebrows, which is supposed to have been like a Viking with red hair, red eyebrows, sons of red eyebrows, which apparently was supposed to be Nordic, right? Vikings that came to Ireland before they came to Britain, but also the war cry of my family's sort of like armor and crest was an oak tree with 7 acorns on it, and the war cry was something like, "May the tree flourish in heaven." I was like,
Wow.
"What?
Wow.
Oh my God!" Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, "Okay, so that's not a coincidence, is it?"
No, it's coded in our, it's like coded in our cells, in our history.
The past.
Yeah, it's all cycles around us. It's cycles repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
it's
get
not
this,
a straight
this
line.
knowing of like, sometimes you resonate with certain films. And you know, my mum's always said, "Oh, you're such a fantasist. Like, you always watch these films that are like fantasy films. I don't get them because they're just not real." I'm like, "They're not real." I said, "There's more truth in that than you'll ever find in that." What they say is real.
Oh my gosh, you have no
There's
idea.
more in fantasy than there is in fiction. I'm like, no. So funny.
It's all in there. Yeah. I love doing that, picking apart. We just went through, Mom and I've seen it several times, but we went through Penny Dreadful series again. If you haven't seen that one, that's a great one.
I started watching
but
bits
talk
of
about
it.
archetypes for, you know, story and Game of Thrones. That's a great one. You can pick apart for the archetypal stories and what's playing out right now, and the Battle of Fire and Ice. But there's so many of these themes. You know that
It's
the Dark
always
Crystal.
in the film.
It's all
the
you know.
Dark Crystal.
Yeah. There's so many. I love going through these too, because you know when your eyes open to this.
The Dark Crystal is the easiest, I think. The easiest.
Yeah, where they siphon. I know.
The skeptics are the skeptics.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystic, but they come together at the end, don't they? Which is what's about to happen.
That's right.
In the very, very near future.
At the Great Conjunction. And when did it happen? In the Great Conjunction.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before. The Great Conjunction. When
I know, it's so funny.
Woke up.
Yes.
She was 2 in the universe, remember? She fell asleep, didn't she?
Yes.
And she woke up. And
yes,
like,
she did.
What's going on here? Oh,
what's going on?
You know, like when people wake up soon.
Yeah, and she had to reconnect with the earth again and learn to speak
the conjunction coming in
song. Yeah, there's so much truth. I just and V for Vendetta, just watched that one this week as well. It was like remember the 5th of November. There's so many of these things you can go through. That's part of the fun.
Can I read that out that I read out on my channel about the 5th of November?
Yeah, I've been calling that one too. What did you write?
My dad sent me this, and then I said, so my dad sent me, you know, here in UK with what Guy Fawkes tried to do. So the Guy Fawkes story that we're all taught at school that he was a bad man. Well, he wasn't a bad man. So Remember the 5th of November. I wonder what's going to go on the 5th of November. I'm just thinking. The gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot, because I'm sorry, but Guy Fawkes had the right idea. Why the hell are we sticking him on a bonfire?
Yeah.
Why are we sticking him on a bonfire? They know why they want us to stick him on a bonfire. Because he was going to blow Parliament up.
Yeah. And they get you to do that. They get you to do that every year, right?
Yeah. So I say, no, put the V for Vendetta mask on.
Exactly.
Sit him on the doorstep.
Yeah.
And don't burn him on the bonfire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example of that. But I know that's a cyclical energy that I imagine we'll see evidence of this 5th of November. Right? It's part of the storyline.
Yes,
it's part of the song that spins around on the record.
Yeah,
and it's coming there. You know, we're in the 11th. You know, the 11th month is huge, and Remembrance Day. So we have Remembrance Day. So this is all about remember, and I think remembering truth and true history, remembering your true origin, right?
Yeah,
because everybody's had an opportunity to see now, right? And now it's really about remember. So this is
people have had an opportunity to see. Some aren't looking still because they don't want to, but you've had the opportunity. You know, and it's there if you choose to.
Yeah.
If you choose to. Have you had any? Because you know, I film the orbs and stuff, and I've just had some.
I was just looking at your pictures to make sure they didn't come through in the next.
Did you get them?
No, they didn't come through yet.
Because he said it was cued.
Yeah.
I'm going to check now.
Speaking of which,
because it doesn't want me to send them to you. It says it's cued. What does cued mean? Sorry, personal joke.
No, I love the cue jokes. Actually, you know, we've gotten 30 minutes free of just 5D shift stuff. I would actually like to get into some regular 3D shift stuff. I know you guys aren't from America, but it is a big election day. The energy here, just from that, has just been off the chain. So
he's off the chart there as well.
I don't want to, ignore the big elephant in the room here, because there's something huge and energetic going on here with this whole election thing. And
it really is.
So we're talking shift. There's some shifting going on in the political.
It's part of the shift.
Yeah, I'm going to try and send you.
Is.
So I would like to get everyone sort of your intuitive, because I know, we've got several things that could play out, of course. I mean, anybody, like, they don't know. But I want to get, like, your intuitive, feeling about what's going to happen, with the whole election thing, because, today's. And I'll just say my personal feeling. Now, this isn't about who you prefer to win. I mean, it could be the same, you know what I mean? If you've got somebody there that you want to win. Right?
Sorry. I think everyone knows my opinion.
But just so if it isn't the same, this is like who you think is going to win.
You know what, Shane? It's not even that. If you're not when you're into that thing on that side that can't speak properly, just saying. You know who I'm talking about, and Tucker Carlson did a right good one on that. But I'm just having a laugh with people. So the thing is, anyway, to me, you just have to feel into their energies.
Yeah.
Not even words, do you know what I mean? It's just, and that's what I did at the beginning of certain things that I'm into, when I thought, is this person, if people don't know I'm into Q, I'm just going to say it out loud, I do anyway. Stuff like that. But even when I was on that, I had to tune into that, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's this, and it fell down. I was like, not within me, it didn't. And then I had to tune into Trump, and I thought, is he this, and this, that, and the other, and what the media say, and I thought, no. Has he said silly things in the past? Probably. But guess what? We're all flawed. Nobody can sit in the channel, anyone in the channel now listening, no one can say they've never said something daft or done something daft, because you do, because that's how you learn and reflect. So even
that's
if you
why
did
I don't
say
run for
something
president,
daft,
because I don't want all that thrown up and brought back up again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, you did
why do
this
I want
in
to
the
think
past.
about that again, right?
You did that in the past. That doesn't define who you are
right.
now and what you're doing now.
But I mean, like intuitively, just in the next, just what the outcome, because I kind of feel like there's going to be a landslide victory for Trump, but I don't. I feel like there's going to be probably a day or two of them trying to hold
Media are
out.
going to try
But
and say that he's not, but landslide.
I don't think things are going to get bad, like things are portrayed. I think things are going to go pretty smoothly, but I think we're going to have some sore losers in the process that don't want to concede, probably. But I think it's going to be overwhelming enough that
another, you know, that lady, and I'm sorry to say this, you know, that lady who started screaming when he got in the first time because Hillary didn't win. Gonna have a bit of that going on, I think. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Just saying. I haven't even really seen her, but I don't really. I'm honestly, I don't really. Who's running again? I'm not even really sure. I'm just teasing.
God. That's who's running. Oh, that's going to be it now.
I would suggest
sources coming through people.
You know, from the outside, looking in at this whole thing, it's like you've got excitement on both sides. But it's like either excitement for or excitement against. But it's all seems to be directed at this one person. And where energy goes, attention goes, energy flows is the rule. So I don't know. From an energetic standpoint, it's like clear to me how things are going to play out. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I live in a red state.
When I've been going to sleep, like little visiony things coming in, and I thought, what's that?
Right.
And I did say it on my channel the other day, and then I forget. But it was like, I had a flash of like family. It was like, and some in my orbs, I thought I was seeing like children and people, and it was like family. Don't know what they were doing. I can't remember the dream, but it was like, I don't think they were in fear. Right. It looked like family connecting, something like that. Felt like that. The orb that I got in the other day that I have shown on my channel that I've been trying to send you, but it won't let me for some reason. And I did show it on my channel.
I do have a link to your channel below, by the way.
Oh, it is actually on my community page. I think I put it on my community page.
Yeah, you guys can click the link in the description and go to Dolly's channel and subscribe and see these pictures she's talking about. She tried to send them to me, but they didn't come.
When you blow up, my friend said, "Oh my God, there's a face in it," and I didn't notice it at first because sometimes you don't.
Can you show it on your phone, or will it not come?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see if I can show you. And you can clearly see a side-on child's face. Someone was saying like, you know, angelic cherub, but it had a happy face, and I don't know if that's a lot to do with the energy of children at the minute and other things that have been going on. And it's like an uplifted, oh my God, we're free, free spirits, that sort of thing going on. As it was just very happy, and the family thing I saw was very happy, and the winged thing I saw was very happy. So something's being released, you know what I mean? So let me see if I can find the picture. I had, I'll show you the blown up ones because, this is it. This is, let me see if I can. So this was, I did film it. This was it, but I'm going to try and get it up to, don't know if you're going to be able to see it.
Yes.
Can you see the face?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The nose.
Yeah.
And the lips at the bottom.
Yeah.
And the eye, like you can see better probably if you go on my community page and blow it up yourself, but can you see the face?
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
I think I can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, so I don't want to deter.
Yeah. And then the other one I got, blown up, as it come in with, you can see things in them. Where's the other one? After that was, I got this. Hang on, where's the big one?
Wow.
And this is coming in a lot stronger, and I've had silver flashes, gold, pinky sort of healing colour I asked for, that flashed in. You know, when I've said the words like divine God and like gold, I've had gold flashes, green, everything. It's been quite a light show, actually. May I say that? But I think that's how this event might be coming in with, when they say there's a light event. I think it's already happening. Like waves of it. So your body doesn't sort of go, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Let me blast a bit like a laser beam. Your body would just go. So, because we're doing it in the physical as well. This is what I think. We're merging. So we're doing it in the physical as well. So it has to come in drippy, drippy, like everything else out there is coming in drippy, drippy. So we don't flipping explode, not just our mindsets with what's coming, but our body as well. So when people talk about crystalline DNA, this, that, and the other, it's slowly changing because it can't come in quickly. Your body would just be like rejecting it. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I sort of feel.
I see it like you do, where you just blow up. Literally.
Yeah,
you just like
you'd be like a gremlin in a microwave.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly. It's like that. It's like a supercharged amount of energy,
just
and it's
warm
just like
up slowly,
like a frog in the hot water, right? You
Yeah.
increase the temperature slowly, so we get used to it. But I do still think there is a moment where it comes on, but
Yeah.
that we have been. It is already on, yes, but it's not.
Well, that you can
full
take
blast.
the when
It's
that
like-
comes in. The last bit that goes right.
But there's a moment where it goes whack, right?
And we've all had
and
those
that's
moments
something-
where we feel like I was saying the last few days, where I was just so down in the dumps. I wouldn't want it any turned up any more than that. You know what I mean? It was like 2 days of just aching.
But don't
and
you
all
think
this,
that's your body trying to tell you to rest? Because
Definitely. I feel like it was upgrades. Matter of fact, you know how when you're out of it because you're like sleeping a whole bunch? I had this moment where I was like kind of half
I don't
asleep
know what that is.
and thinking and wondering, I'm like, why am I feeling like this sickness? Like, because I haven't felt sick since this last Ascension flew back in, what was it, 2017, where people thought I looked all glowy when I came back. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I got something out of it because it was horrible. So I haven't really been sick in all this time, you know? And then like I'm laying there wondering, and it was like I got this vision of how, you know, throughout the light worker or collective community of those willing to do so. I don't feel like it's done against their will or anything, but I think they're able to pull like some of the energy off of others and distribute it amongst the others. So I'm seeing this picture, and I don't know if it's because I was out of it and sick and just trying to make sense of my sickness, because I'm like, oh, there has to be some purpose to my suffering. You know what I mean? It could have been totally that, but that's the sort of picture I got while I was laying there out of it. So I don't know.
Don't you always think if you're a bit sweaty and you're sweating, you're just purging again?
Yeah.
Because you're getting all the stuff out your pores, so it's like...
Exactly why I took a salt bath, because I felt like I needed to get it off of me and soak it, you know?
Well, I even had fluid in my ears draining out this week.
And I've heard about this.
I had it happen once before. It was like back in 2017, like you said, you know?
Okay, right.
Where it happened, I woke up and it was all like dried. And I know Luna Ash had been talking about it. And
it's just clear liquid, almost
startling.
Like it just released.
Yeah, it was just dried. But it was like the first morning it was my right ear, and then the next day it was my left ear. And it was like, and I sat up and it's actually like was sloshing around in my ear. And I'm like, what is that? And I'd also been having a lot of clicking, popping, not just the ringing. I mean, I always get a lot of ringing, but actual like clicking, tapping, clicking, popping, snapping, like,
right.
Yeah, a lot of noises. And even like, almost like wind blowing pressure noises from the inside out. Really weird. So no, like my glands were swollen. There's no infection. I was not sick. Nothing like that.
I think that's not right, because we're coming online with certain abilities like the clairs, you know, clairvoyancy, the hearing, the seeing, different things going on.
Yeah, it's a pineal gland.
And I'm still getting the lots of tingles in my fingers still, especially when I'm talking on something that I believe to be true. It just tingles in my fingers or on the top of my head, like where your crown chakra is. Right. In my fingers and stuff like that. And Magenta Pixie, because if people don't know who are new, you remember I showed this ages ago when I started getting the orbs in last September. I painted that picture 2 months before I started seeing the orbs.
Right.
And then I was like, oh my God, like, what's all that about? Because everyone said maybe that was you. And then you were painting these, like, I thought it was like snowflakes, but when I look back now, I was like 2 months after the orbs started coming in stronger and stronger, and they've got stronger and stronger. And Magenta Pixie was doing a show with, I don't know if it was on her show, she was doing a show with, I think it was Charlie Freak, if you know Charlie Freak, someone else that, I can't remember what day it is because I keep losing days as well. I don't know if I'll talk about that in a minute. I've been losing.
Yeah, it's right.
I've been losing days everywhere, but she said, no, it wasn't. I don't know whose channel it was, but she was on it, and someone said, do you want to ask anyone questions? So I was like, I need someone to talk about orbs. I need someone to just say something, not to validate, but I think she might say what I believe was coming in. So my question got picked up, and I asked, I've been seeing a lot of orbs, different colours, gold, silver, a lot of bright white light, mostly bright white light, blue were coming in the other week. And Magenta Pixie said, it's your energy, which I know it is, because it's what I'm emanating as well, because we do that, you know, we draw in and put out. she said it's also the colours blue, white. That's you know, I know it's a spirit realm as well, but she said also extraterrestrial, and I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I've seen some weird Merkaba things going on.
Right,
stuff.
right.
So it wasn't that validation that I needed, but as soon as she said that, I thought, I've always resonated with Magenta Pixie anyway, and how she talks in metaphors and stuff. So I thought that's exactly what I thought it was, and I was picking up that myself. But when she said it, I thought, because this is how we learn, you know, if someone says something, you're like, that's what I thought, you know, that's what I actually thought it was. It's not, people will go out there, oh, Dolly's regurgitating something. No, I come on and show you things and say, this is what I've resonated with, because this is what's happening to me.
Right.
So it is a bit of a validation, but not a validation of I'm going to believe it just because she said it, you know, and I like Magenta Pixie's channel. That's because that's what I'm experiencing. It's my experience. Doesn't matter what anyone else is saying. You've got your own
so it
path
becomes a
to do.
confirmation for you, which is
Yeah,
validating.
and I was like, yes,
because
yes,
it resonates with you. It vibrates with you as your truth.
Yeah.
And you feel it vibrate as truth inside of you. And that's the resonance. And that's how we take in a lot of this information, and how we change our perspectives and grow, just like you were talking about earlier, because we're constantly reaching up and finding the truth of our resonance.
And the reason why it's resonating is because humanity is going through this big shift. And even if it doesn't matter where you got your information from, Q, because that's not, the Q isn't the wake up call to my spiritual experience. It was more like what's going on in 3D, but it's all mixed
They're
up.
all catalysts, though.
Anyway, yeah. So it's a bit like, it doesn't matter if you got your information out of a book and then you started doing something, or where you got your information from, as long as it resonates. And it's something to do with your experience, and it's making sense to you, and it's actually lifting you up and not dragging you down is one of the biggest things. If there's anything out there, any information you're getting from anywhere, doesn't matter what you're on, what you're following, who you're following, if it's dragging you down and making you feel depressed, there's something in it, it's not real, it's fake, whatever it is. And it doesn't mean that when everybody puts something out, maybe not resonate, that person's bad. It's just they might have picked up on something, but there are those people out there. But it's just, maybe it's making you feel down because there's something in it that it isn't. Do you know what I mean? Go and find something that resonates with you, not against you, and it's making you feel like.
Yeah, you should always trust your intuition over everything. Trust your heart over everything, and everything else should validate those feelings you have on the inside. Which is I love, because whenever I go watch Magenta Pixie, she's someone I trust, and I love when her message resonates with me. I'm like, thank goodness I'm on the right track. You know what I mean? Because I don't make my choice from what others say.
No, I don't.
I resonate with it or I don't. And
I show the people on the tube that I like, and it's funny because we've come together on this day today, which is not a coincidence. That's just bonkers. Do you know when you two came in before? And it's even with this going on now. The people that I was watching a few years ago before I woke up to certain things on my spiritual path, like Magenta Pixie, Jen McCarthy. Do you know Jen McCarthy?
Oh, love one.
Yeah. People like that, I was like, what are they talking about? Like, what? Like, I understand they resonate, but they're a bit like, are they a bit creative? Like, but I'm going to keep watching them because there's something I wasn't quite understanding then. Then I followed it and like, yeah, I get it now. Oh my God, yeah, I'm going through it. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And now, because Magenta and some other people have come out with a certain letter and a certain somebody with the letter T as well, they got attacked for that because they didn't normally talk about, because like most of us know, it's not a political thing really, it's something that lies beyond it. But they got attacked. But I thought, oh my God, I was resonating with the right people for me, because I didn't even know they were into that and that. And not that they stay in it, because you don't have to. It's a psyop if you stay in the energy of the other things that are going on and you stay down the rabbit holes too long. So everyone I've met along the way is making total sense more and more every day. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, I don't know how many people I thought were crazy at first. Like, gosh, like you look at David Icke, I totally get him now, but I think I came across him in the 90s and I was like, what? This guy is so crazy. What is he? And even Magenta Pixie, I think it was probably, I don't know, probably at least 5 to 7 years ago I came across her, and I thought she was bananas. I told her that. I'm like, I thought you were bananas when I first came across your stuff. So it's awesome to finally reach a point where you're like, oh, it makes sense.
But don't you think it's the language people don't get? Like my fella, my boyfriend, he's not into a lot of some of the stuff. He's like, it bits and he's trying to get there with certain stuff, and I'll say something, he'll go, I can't like communicate when you're talking like this. I'm like, but I just understand metaphors more than actual language because we all know that spells and stuff. I said, I get metaphors more. That's why I can watch Magenta Pixie, someone like Magenta Pixie or Charlie Freak, and I get it. Other people will go, what? And it's
Right.
like, and you try and explain it, and it's like, what you're going on about? It's just a knowing, though. It's just can't explain it in metaphors because I'm a visual learner as well, so
Right.
I understand things differently.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit dyslexic. I understand things differently, so it's all that as well as it starts. The more it comes in, it starts making sense. But Magenta Pixie also did say about the orb. She said it's also you coming online with your higher self, which I knew it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's exactly what I was feeling. Not what because someone was telling it me, and just because Magenta Pixie said, and Magenta Pixie's got more followers than me, because it's not about the followers, you know. People think,
Right.
oh, it's nothing to do with that because I've believed something because someone's got a big channel. No, I was feeling exactly what she was saying, you know. And I don't know if you've noticed, well, we talk about the same things. You go to YouTube, people say it's the algorithms. Are like, no, I'll hit on someone's channel of not what we're all talking about near enough the same thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's not the algorithm. It's much deeper than that, and that's
Do
when
you
you
know Prime Disclosure's channel?
prime
Yep,
disclosure. I've
I do.
definitely heard it before, but I can't think
Right.
of
Well, I've
like.
not watched it recently, but I used to watch it in the morning because everything that used to happen the day before, because he's in America, so I wouldn't have seen it. You know,
Right.
someone would say, "Oh, she's just copying Prime Disclosure." Well, I don't think so because the time difference is different. So
Right.
I'd think something, even a colour, or say I got a flash of an animal come in, like I got an elephant a bit ago, you know, when you go and look up the spiritual meaning. The next day, he's near enough saying the same thing, and I was like, "This is just what?" You know, all that is just like, oh my God.
Well, a lot of the times I've noticed that myself. It will be like I go and watch something and it's like what I did, and then I'll look and it was actually put out before I put mine out. So I know the person didn't copy off of me, and I know I didn't copy off of them. You know,
And
so
that's where people get mixed up. Oh, you're regurgitating, you're copying people. It's like,
right,
it's in the conscious soup, people.
right.
You're tuning into the same
Tune
thing
in,
because it's
tap
like
in. You know,
so amazing. Yeah.
and
And
that's really
every,
my word for everyone is everyone needs to tap in for themselves. You know, I'm not telling anybody to believe anything. You
but
know,
it proves the
tap
point
in.
that something's going on and this stuff's real because that's what people are, you know, talking about. And to Michelle and you, have you been noticing? The other day I said Happy Sunday when it was Saturday. I have one day in the week where I'm like, where did that day go? And I heard someone else say it that I know that I've not spoken to for a while go, I've seemed to be missing 3 Thursdays. And I'm like, this time seems to be speeding up. It's like it wants us to get past all this crap that's going on at the minute. It's like, come on, let's pedal a bit faster. And it's like, but it was, where's that day gone? I don't even know if that day happened.
Yep. Well, I
Is anyone
missed
getting
several
that?
days.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's time so
definitely
crazy. In some aspects it seems like it's gone so fast, and in other aspects it seems like, oh my gosh, that was just yesterday, wasn't it? But I don't know. It's just perception
yeah.
is really
It's
strange.
Well,
when it
back
the
comes to
other thing
time.
I'm just like,
the other thing I'm having happen is that dream memories
coming
are
back.
becoming very confusing of what's a
Oh,
real, what's a memory.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on a second. Did I do that yesterday?
Or did I dream it?
Or was that a dream?
Or did I just think
That's
about
happening
it?
a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. And it's very confusing. So it's becoming very blurry on like what is a real memory and what is a dream memory and what is reality and when something even took place. And it's more of an experience of cycles as opposed to experience of time, like linear time. It's like, is it day or is it night? What season is it? Is it, it's more the lunar cycles. Is a full moon, is a new moon. It's, yeah. And it's weird. And in noticing each cycle then ties me, I can almost travel through any other loop, feeling autumn. You can experience any autumn in your life. It just takes you back into that moment, right? It's experiencing time as this thing that wraps around you in cycles. And that's why we're missing these days, because it just doesn't matter. We're not, the more you shift over, you're not Gregorian calendar anymore. You're And you're thinking in a different way. You were really describing it there, Janine, before, this whole metaphor and using metaphors, because that's really the language of the universe and how it can communicates with it. It's symbolism, right? It's symbols. It's the language of alchemy. And really the way the universe works with us is it reaches into our head, into our connections of our awareness, and it says, okay, you see this? Well, that's the same as this. And that's like when you do this and you go, oh, there's a download. So we're getting more and more familiar with communicating with the universe in these downloads and how it's, it speaks to us. And then, so yes, we turn around to sort of share that information and converse it with somebody else.
Looking for my alchemy book. I was like, it's all alchemy, baby.
It's all alchemy. But listen, alchemy is a 5D language. This is important to understand as well. Okay. Alchemy is a 5D language, and there is an alternative plan to keep you restricted in a 5D level. That's why there's sort of a subversion of the spiritual realm. Let's all move to 5D
as well.
But what is actually coming is higher than that. There's a truer language, right? Like we have the language on Earth. It goes letter, word, sentence, paragraph, chapter, book. And then the higher language is when you take an entire novel and convert it down to one symbol. That's when you go to alchemy, right? And then so alchemy, has a whole series of symbols, and with a spiritual understanding of symbolism allows you to change matter. But there's a higher level above that, because the negative construct, right, can still work within that spiritual realm of 5D understanding to manipulate matter. So that's why they'd all liked us to stay here, right? But there is a language that goes, again, it tiers up like octaves, like music. It goes above. So just like you did with letter, word, paragraph, chapter, book, you went to symbol. It does the same thing on the next tier, right? You have symbol, it goes up, it gets more complex. It builds a whole symbolic story again, and then boom, you revert, which we can't even conceptualize. This higher tier of language we wouldn't be able to conceptualize, but it's shown to me in metaphors, right? And it tiers up to this whole other level. But this is the trick. This is really important to understand for everybody, is that the negative agenda, right, the negative polarity cannot push past, it cannot use this higher level of language, which is just the language of the angels, which is the language that created the universe, right? When God spoke the word, this is the word that he spoke, was this higher language. They don't have access to it because the whole purpose of this language is to praise God. It's an expression of praise. That's the only reason it was ever spoken. So they cannot speak this language.
Angels.
They can't, that's right. They cannot speak this language. No. So we have the barrier that we're piercing. I want to say to everybody in the spiritual world that's so focused on 5D, I think 5D is a limitation. And what we have to experience is well beyond that. And if we understand, alchemy is still able to be used by the ego and its intentions, by the identity and what its goals are and what it desires. That language is not spoken out of a purpose, out of a need, out of a compulsion to praise God in this experience. It's often mostly spoken in the occult teachings in order to master the universe and be your own God.
The hidden. Okay?
And that's where they want to keep us. So I really want to suggest there's a much higher level beyond all of this. And it's really time to release schools of thought. They keep us in a programmed box. No matter how they represent themselves as being spiritual, there is an agenda to keep a subverted, it's in the stars, a subverted spiritual agenda to siphon off. And that is restricted to the 5D. Our capabilities and where God wants us to go are far beyond that. And we should not be distracted by the schools of thought that keep us boxed into a language and an agenda that suits our ego and our intentions and our
but you know the word identity. That, you know the number 7 that follows me about?
Mm-hmm.
Seven levels of alchemy, and the transformation of alchemy in alchemy, 7 levels. And it's
That's
like the front of this book. Learn the secrets of the alchemist to transform mind, body, and soul, the Trinity. So to me, I've always been into alchemy. I've used to do a show called Witchy Ways. I've got me solitary witch things. Witch doesn't mean bad, it means wise, wild woman. Men as well, sages, whatever. People get scared because they put that out in movies like a witch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Hillary's a witch, but she's for the dark side. Energy, it's science as well. Like the Egyptians knew science, but we call it magic because it's like, oh, wow, you've brought this in, you've manifested it. We can all do it, but energy, magic, whatever you want to call it, is not bad. It's the intentions and your words you put on that energy.
That's right.
That you're using. So if you're an evil person, and you've got evil intentions for the world and other people, you are going to use it for evil. If you're a good person, you are going to use it, yes, for you, but in a way that it also helps others. And that's how I've always seen it, pretty plain and simple. So, and I got a mini cauldron the other day because I had a big one and it's in the garden. I just use that sometimes for burning things away, like words, like could be negativity, and just burn it away, just release it. It's a more of a visual way. You don't need tools, but people who are like, oh, little witchy stuff and that, because I do love that community of, you could say white magic. White magic it's just because I'm a visual learner. I do love them little things. So I when I'm visualizing more or doing something, if I was burning something off, just so I can see it and I just release that off. It's that, doesn't matter what you really do, you don't need tools because everything's within. But that's how I've always seen alchemy. And I've said on my channel, what you're doing now, we're going through a transformation. It's learning. I still get triggered. It's learning to keep your chemicals at bay. That's why they put us in fear with the media and stuff, because you start bubbling up, all your chemicals start bubbling up, and then you start reacting. You start getting angry, when really, when you breathe and think, you know what, is that person really affecting me? What they said doesn't define who I am. I know myself. It's like the media, they lie about stuff. People, get into arguments with the people. It's like, I know myself, so really I should let that go. I know myself. You've got to know yourself and go within. So it is alchemy. We're going through this massive transformation now, and you're going to go through different stages of alchemy because there's 7. And we've got the 7 chakras, but actually we've got more. They say 13. So they call it galactic, whatever. I just say, your higher self's above from the 7 that we've got. We're moving up. So, and that's that thing, like you said before, they will try and keep us in, like, we've got 7 chakras, you've got to work for your 7 chakras. Where do you go after that? It's just 7 chakras. No, there isn't 7 chakras. There's more. There's probably more beyond that we've been told when we reach that level is going on.
That's right.
And on and on, and we keep learning and growing. And that's why I have a big problem with people who are like, do it this way, that way, and I'm at a high level. Well, you're actually not, because when you hit that level, you'll start learning about the next level. And I still think past that level where we may think we'd be going, I still think there's more levels past that. Infinity, yeah, different dimensions. There's loads of universes. So maybe when we hit the highest, what's classed as the highest as 13, maybe we hit another universe dimension, whatever you want to call it.
You just go to another octave.
And you just keep going. But maybe we'll go where we want to go. So, it's beautiful. I think it is.
Yeah, it's all part of the process. And I it's been important. Like I've done the same thing as you. I've been doing this with Shane for almost 3 years now, and that was it's about sharing the process to see that I don't have this. The beliefs change, opinions change, I change.
Yeah.
And it's to show that change and that we all go through that change, and how you experience the ups and the downs and the changing your mind and having revelations and feeling the different things that we feel. It's all part of the process. And, we shed all these different layers of the onion. And as we do, we become new and new and new again, right?
I got this card in the other day. As you just said that. I will pull a card, actually. Let me see. As you said that, we got this in. I think we've had this twice, actually. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. So this is, I think this has come up twice. Shed old skin.
Yeah, that's really what we're doing. And listen, when a snake sheds its skin, it can lash out. It can become aggressive. And
you're shaking it off as well, but it is quite like, you don't want to do it, but you do want to do it. You've got to do it, but it's a bit of a lashing out as well.
Sometimes it's a ripping off of a band-aid.
Yeah. I'll rip your plaster off your knee.
Yeah.
Just do it quickly. It's painful the slower you do it.
Yeah, it is. It applies to so many things. Yeah.
So it's funny. But yeah, it is the greatest time to be alive, I would say.
That's exciting. So, any predictions? Do you guys think the elections are going to go off with no hitch? I mean, let's get both of your predictions about what do you think is going to happen. Do you think we're going to just have a landslide victory, no problems, or what do you think?
I think it's going to be a landslide, but I still think the media might try to cover it up of how they might do that. I don't know. We know what they're like, but it's going to fail.
See, I kind of feel like they probably got some things in place for some fraud and stuff, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think.
Well, I listened to the Trump rally last night, a little bit of it, and he's been talking about it. He's ready.
Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah,
he's ready.
Wanted everybody's names or something.
We all know.
I saw something.
Yeah.
I think the hammer's coming down.
Well, what do you think, Michelle?
The Thor hammer.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be easy?
I think you're going to see a real switch in gears. And there's going to be a massive amount of information that will have to hit. And if the media is going to block it, I think it very well may be likely that the media gets revoked and the possibility of an emergency broadcast system to actually dispense the information.
We talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of healing. There's going to be a lot of dark night, like as a lot of people come to a realization as this information comes out of how they were deceived and what they were aligning themselves with. So there's going to be a lot of that. But when we come out of it, through November, and then as we come into that December and that alignment, what you're going to see is actually a big sigh of relief because this stuff is finally out. The boil's going to be lanced, right? And the battle in a lot of ways will be won. Like people were, and that energetic push, as exhausted as people are going to be, I think that energetic push then coming into that alignment in the Great Conjunction, which is really a shift of baton and a handing over, of power, really. With that, I don't like to make predictions, but it's going to be a powerful amount of energy coming into that Christmas time, and it really is. I think the filling up to the birthing of Christ consciousness. Christmas. I really do think that it's going to be a wave that pushes this process very quickly.
It'll be a big massive Christ energy.
Yes. It will. As this is, it'll be a very sudden dark night of the soul for a lot of people. Very rapid. It's going to be
over quicker than it was for some. It's just going to be.
That's right.
This and this. That's
right. Because a lot of the work we have been doing, in the dream time, us workers that go in there to the collective and do this has been in preparation for them being able to handle this and bear it, right? So, but what's going to come out of that, at the Christmas time is a real celebration of Christ in that energy and the relief for it. Well. And it really is magnetics. Yeah. And it's calling in that energy. So I imagine it to have a seismic effect. We'll say that.
I've told people there's no way we're going through Christmas doing this.
Right.
That's not going on. Family are going to be together because that's going to get blown out the water very, very soon. Christmas is going to be, I was just saying today, it's going to be more magical than ever because, funnily enough, some Christmases, I'll be truthful, I've been a bit like in the past. But now I'm like, bring in that Christ Christmas.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Now that it's at risk.
Everyone's feeling with the lockdown and, they've been apart from the family and that. Because, normally, family are family, you argue, right? That's human, whatever. And at Christmas, sometimes you do have arguments because people have drinks and it just all that family together and even the ones that do your wedding, even though you love them. But this year, I think it's going to be totally different because we've had this stage of lockdown, this going within, people are realising actually what's important. Even if you have been finding it hard with your kids at home and stuck in with your wife or your husband and you've had to get to know each other again, this Christmas is going to be more of I just feel like more of a loving vibe because of that, and people are realising.
Yeah. I'll be able to celebrate again.
The biggest Christmas because of the energies of everyone's been feeling down with the whole lockdown and lost, and it's going to be amazing that everyone's going to be out and it's worldwide. Oh my God, I can't wait to see. And the new year, don't even get me started on that.
You got your
New
popcorn.
Year's Eve is going to be like, whoa, can you imagine the fireworks?
Yeah, full of possibility. So very exciting.
Well, there's our signal
There's
right
the
there.
cue.
Right?
She's been trying to cue me for a little while now. Yeah. You say hi. Say hi to Dolly.
Hi.
Oh,
Say hello.
Zoe. Okay, before we go though, we've got to check out your. I love the boss shirt, by the way. But behind that, you have your Trumpkin. You got to show your Trumpkin.
Oh yeah, your Trumpkin.
Oh God, yeah.
Or you could probably just tilt the camera a little bit. That's
Trumpkin pumpkin. Oh Jesus, get up. Yeah, so my son, who's 5, for the people who don't know, was like, we need to do a Trumpkin pumpkin. I was like, this day shall be forever known on Halloween as the Trumpkin pumpkin. So I tried my hardest, but it's supposed to be Trump. There's his big quiff. It looks better when the light's on it, but I've still got it. So that is the Trumpkin pumpkin. Yeah.
You did a great job.
Yes, it's orange. It's orange now.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because we're both artists, so I wouldn't have wanted to tackle that, and you tackled it with confidence, and it looks like Trump. It's indeed a Trumpkin.
Yeah. I tackled it. Oh, do you want me to pull a card before we go? See what they say.
Let's do that.
Right. See. Probably take me half an hour to get one out now.
I'm sure it'll be perfect. Oh
no, as a
Jean pulled
just
the Justice card out. One for the card. I love that one.
We've had this, but I'll have to do 3 actually. I always do 3. I say 1, I can't do it. This one we've had this week, so that's just, if it's the same card coming out all the time, it's like, Dolly, you don't need to be pulling the cards every day. We've told you.
Yeah.
It's fun though. Let's see what comes out.
That's what I seem to get in. So let's see. Try and get 3. Oh, there's another one. Oh no, we've got 4. That's what came out. So we've got. Oh, we've got the Oracle. You are all the Oracle, by the way, when you start tuning into things.
Yeah.
We've got the Oracle. This card. And it says, "Wait for important information." We are.
Oh yeah. Big stuff coming.
Yeah.
We
got this today.
Someone get out of the mainstream media, but they won't be able to do that.
Dark to light also means it's not just dark to light as in dark to light what's going to be seen. It means people in the dark are the ones with no information. When it comes to light, you're in the information. Mainstream media don't they don't hardly put any right information out. So dark to light, that's layered as well. We've had this today. Funny enough, it's got the Mercury at the top, but someone got this and was pulling them out today. Was High Priestess, Intend and Create. We were talking about alchemy before. High Priest, sorry. No, we got the Priestess before, so now we've got the Priest that's like masculine and feminine.
I love it. The balance.
Yeah, we got that before. We've got a lot of divine feminine in earlier on today. So we've got that one. And then this just makes me laugh because it's not a coincidence. And it's purple, crown chakra at the top. It says, "Seer, see beyond the current situation, beyond the veil."
Beyond the crown, the corona. I love that.
Yeah,
that's purple. Because I'm the purple queen.
Yeah.
I've been shown.
Yeah. Queen. It's all connected, isn't it?
And then after this, and you can look at the symbol because we were talking about alchemy. It's got the the triple moon goddess. The goddess. This is the goddess. This is Earth. This is Gaia. Mother Earth. That's what this represents, by the way, my tattoo. Feel loved and comforted. You know what I said about the wings?
That's right. Yeah. That's
and if you can see up there's the triple goddess sign and the goddess there's a triple moon. So yeah.
Yeah. That's the energy right now.
All is going to be nurtured when we start to heal. This is what's going to be coming after the pain. So yeah.
Yep. Exactly. The land of milk and honey.
Yee! Yeah. And I also pulled the card out today with a bee on it with honey.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Let me just try and find it before we go, and I'll show you.
You know how bees fly?
Came out twice this week.
What's that?
Yeah.
They resonate with the earth.
Because I went to look at the spiritual meaning and totally forgot. So let me just find it. It was a lot of them Native American Indian energy we had in the cards as well. These are quite good.
What deck
we
is
had.
that?
Hmm?
What deck are you using right there in case somebody wanted
I'll
to look
show
it
you
up?
in a minute. I've lost that card now.
Oh, okay.
I'm using angels and ancestors.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and they've got these little dials on, and so
Oh, I love that.
let me just see. There's somewhere it's hiding from me. Probably dropped it on the floor somewhere. Yeah, we did get the being anyway, so I was trying to look up the spiritual meaning of that. It is, there it is. So it says it's under summer, but it says bask in joy and light. Well, that's what we're going to be doing.
Ah, there's the bee.
You'll be collecting your rewards of your honey pot, you know.
Gotta love it.
Gold, honey gold, colour golden age.
Yeah, golden.
Yeah, that's what I see. So,
Gotta love it. I love it. All confirmations.
Yes.
yay!
Well, thank you, Michelle and Dolly, for joining me today on such an exciting day. And
That was fun.
yeah, we'll see what things look like tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for coming in, Dolly. It was really fun having you
Yeah,
here.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's great. Do it again. And thanks everyone for coming over from my channel and new people in your channel and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely. And I do have Dolly's link right at the top. You can go subscribe to her channel. And as always, Michelle's is down there as well. And the Schumann, and the Schumann's been weird with the little pulses every 15 minutes. What's up with that? I don't know.
Oh, can I just say before you go, has anyone had, because I keep getting this breathing thing where now and again, even with my boyfriend, if I give him a cuddle, I have to do this like, this, it might not sound weird to people, obviously, it sounds weird. I have to go, like, it's like I'm breathing something into him. And I just get this thing of like I'm breathing something. And sometimes when I'm breathing in bed, it's just like I have to take this big, really big breath and then sigh out. But I do it when I'm cuddling now, like and he knows because I always say, I just have to do this thing of like.
That sounds like the
I'm trying to
conscious
take
breathing
something out of him, and I'm trying to release something. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I've been doing.
No, that's exactly what that's exactly it. You just move, you got to move the energy all the way through you. Sometimes we don't do a complete breath and it actually bogs the energy.
Because I know he's a bit stuck in certain
Yeah.
patterns, and it's not like I'm telling him to do something, but I just, when I cuddle him, it's just like, I don't want to let go, and then sometimes I'll just be like, and it's like
But you're bringing his energy down too, right? Like it's not a conscious thought process, but your body, your subconscious is fully aware of it. So you're completing the task. You're
winding down for sleep. You mean like?
Well, you're bringing his energy down, right? You're not down. Not I don't mean sorry down in I like you're bringing it to where you are as well. You're not just moving it.
If I feel someone's a bit lower, you know, like depleted in energy or feeling a bit lower, that without saying that I can do that, you know, I just be like, I just a cuddle,
almost like a release or something.
Sigh that goes with it.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
that's basically the conscious breathing I've been doing all the time. Like, you know, just whenever I feel triggered or feel anything really, I just use it as a little reminder to take a nice conscious breath, and don't forget the sigh. The sigh.
I've also noticed that's when the orbs come in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like.
Yeah.
See, and I think we shift our vibration up to where we can perceive stuff more. I know it works that way with receiving messages. If you're like low vibe, you're not getting the messages. Like if you're really high vibe and excited and optimistic, then you get this like in the now, you get this free flow of energy. It's like a stream of synchronicities at that point.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to stay in that, but.
And by the way, also I've been getting that rocky motion in bed again.
Oh yeah.
The other week I got it. It was like, it feels like an earth. It's that thing where I feel like someone's actually got my feet and they're going, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sleep anyway. There's that thing again. That's all I think is. There's that thing again. Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much constant for me now.
I'm
like constant. I'm vibrating at the root.
Yeah, vibrating. Yeah, yeah.
I'm actually vibrating. I've been getting all week. I've been getting these twitches, muscle twitches, going all up. Mostly the upper part of my legs, like my thighs, and literally going up inside of me. It's the weirdest, bizarre feeling, yeah. And not only am I getting it, but Mom had it for a couple of days too. and she's 66. So come on, like it's a little crazy, but it's a constant vibration now. It's not going anywhere. So yeah, it's really weird to get used to at first, but I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, the breathing, you're just breathing in the good ass prana, as someone would say off a channel called Infinite Waters. You just
right.
breathing it all in.
Just breathing. Well, the funny thing is that if I go into a deeper, the more meditative, relaxed state and everything, that's the one it actually increases. So the pulsations and the things that are going on. So I'm getting very used to like just letting that go and just like allowing what is happening to just continue happening without sort of stepping out of my observation too much to go, oh my gosh, look at that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
But that's when I've been really noticing like the full breath, full all the way, stretch it all the way out, and then release it all the way out, sigh, let it all the way out. And it really is important as far as this,
Yeah, mine has been, the noise has been,
yes,
like
a relieving, a letting go.
It's a really nice sigh. It's not a sigh of like, ugh. It's like,
it's a release. Yeah.
And he heard me doing it even in bed when I'm like, I'm just like,
so what I'm getting to right now, Dolly, is that actually that energy is what's building and building and building. We talked about that excitement at Christmas and the big relief of having everything done. So that's part of this being expelled right now. And that experience of like, after like that big sigh breath, that's the energy that's
going to be the sigh of relief anyway.
Yeah. So
and
I think
you need to release to let the new energies in. So
right.
It's going to be a big sigh.
You're going to have a collective
conscious, a big sigh
of relief.
Collective sigh.
So you're
now it's all done.
Yeah, that's
especially all the light workers over the years who've been doing this before us and before then. It's all going to be, oh my god. Anyway, party time, and then it'll be party time. So
Miranda's asking about the bed moving, or an animal on the bed moving, and that vibrating that we feel. And we've definitely had multiple people dealing with that.
Got a lot.
You're not alone.
Last week again, yeah.
It doesn't go away. It only just keeps getting more.
And sometimes it's more of a buzzy than a shaking of the bed. It's more like you just wake up zinging, or as you're going to sleep. So many different ways it can manifest.
Sometimes it's localized. Sometimes it's all over.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's like a very internal feeling, actually, like vibrating literally on the inside. It's.
Did anyone have a few years ago that someone mentioned it? Sorry, the other day. Because I had it a few years ago when I woke up to certain stuff, and then someone said the other day in chat of like feeling like you were having a bit of a heart attack. I said, yeah. And when I breathed, it was like a pain, and every time I breathed through, it was really hard, like I thought I was going to die. But I realised I think it was my heart chakra opened up. I was like, what is this? It's like, I don't get it now. At all, but I was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that's what happened. These different waves, they've come, like, it's all at once now, but, a lot of times we've had sort of these gaps in between these big waves come in, and they sort of really hit a certain chakra area when they come in, and you can experience those activations very specifically in those locations. And it's just moving about. So I've just found over the last couple weeks, I really think we're moving up towards Christmas. Like it was the root a couple weeks ago. Then over the last week, it was the sacral. Now I feel like going into this week, we're really moving up. Like it's like a final cleanse up into the yellow of the solar plexus, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's good. It's coming up and leading up to Christmas, I think.
Then when it comes up at Christmas, it's going to go like a fountain.
Yeah, the crown is really going to kick in with that. So exciting stuff. But I better go because my dogs are having a fit.
Yeah.
All right, lots of love, light, unity. Each and every one of you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.